Hello, dear students. Thanks to all for watching my lecture. Today I am talk about the physics subject, HSC Physics, first paper, chapter 2, vector. Dear student, this chapter is really very important for you or all the science students. Okay, because the magnitude of this chapter is very high. Okay, if you do not understand all the pros and cons of this chapter, then it is really very difficult for you to understand all the chapter of the physics. Okay, so you must have to develop the basic on this chapter. If you develop all the pros and cons and all the basic of these chapters, then it is really very helpful for you to understand all the chapter of the physics first paper and second paper. Okay, dear student, before starting my lecture, I am trying to understand you and try to clear you some important things. Remember that physics is such a subject as the subject is totally related to our physical world or real world. In our real world, all the things, all the object, you can describe with the help of the knowledge of the physics. Because of that, the magnitude of this chapter is very high. Okay, what is happened all the time around you with you, uh, you can you can describe on the knowledge of this subject. Okay, so dear student, uh, always try to understand and always try to develop your basic on this chapter. If you develop the more basic of this chapter, you will be very helpful. Okay, so dear student, today I am talking about the chapter number 2. The name of this chapter is vector. As the vector chapter is very important, so all the basic part, all the basic things, all the basic topics, all the basics point has in this chapter. At first we have to try to understand what is vector and try to understand the all the basic on this chapter. Okay, dear student, before learning vector, we must have to learn quantities. Quantities. Okay, quantities. What is quantities? Quantities is nothing but quantities is a something that can describe anything that maybe mathematics, maybe any kind of things you can represent by the quantities with the help of the quantities. Quantities can describe any kind of things. It is the amount, magnitude of any kind of the things. Actually, in our physics subject, in our physics study, quantities maybe two types. Maybe two types. One is scalar quantity, scalar quantity. Another is vector quantity, vector quantity. At first, we have to learn what is scalar quantity. If you describe anything with the magnitude and without the direction, then the quantities is the scalar quantities. Scalar quantities only have magnitude, only have magnitude. There is no need to direction. Anything that is scalar, you can describe with the help of the magnitude of these things. Okay, for represent the scalar quantity, you need only magnitude. There is no need direction, no direction, no direction, direction. Okay, no direction. But if you represent the vector quantities, then you must have two things. One is magnitude, magnitude, magnitude plus direction, direction. Okay. If you represent the vector quantities, then you must have to ensure these two things. One is its magnitude and another is direction. Let me clear that. Okay. Suppose if we represent scalar quantities, or at first we just list out what is the scalar quantities. Scalar quantities. What are the scalar quantities? All the scalar quantities we just listed. Scalar quantities. Okay. Suppose length is a scalar quantity. Why length is a scalar quantity? Because the represent of the length only need its magnitude. There is no need direction. Suppose if you tell someone what is the length of the tree, a tree, what is the length of a tree, anyone just give you the answer. The length of the tree is 10 meter or 20 meter. Okay, suppose I am clear you, but with the help of the diagram. If the height of this tree is 20 meter, then you just ask someone how much the height of the tree. Everyone tell you the length of the tree is 20 meter. 20 meter, the mag 20 meter is the magnitude of the tree. This is called magnitude. Magnitude. But remember that for representing the height of the tree, you do not need the direction, only its magnitude. Because of that, length is the scalar quantity. Suppose another scalar quantity is mass. Mass is the scalar quantity. Okay, any object has mass. If you ask someone what is the mass of the any kind of things, or suppose what is the mass of the tree. Suppose someone someone give you the answer. The mass of the tree is 500 kg. As the mass is the 500 kg, so you can represent only its magnitude. There is no need the direction. Because of that, the mass is a scalar quantity. Okay. Suppose length, mass, and time. Time is a scalar quantity. Why? Because to represent the time, you need only magnitude. There is no need direction. Okay. Suppose what is the time now at this moment? Everyone give it. Suppose now the time is 9 p.m. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is the magnitude. Okay. Another is temperature. How much temperature is today? Temperature. Suppose anyone tell you that the today's temperature is 23 degrees Celsius. 23 degrees Celsius is the magnitude of the temperature. Uh, because the magnitude of the temperature is 23 degrees Celsius. Suppose you just represent the scalar quantity, you just need the magnitude. Okay, there is no need any direction. Length, mass, time, temperature, another things is inertia moment. Inertia moment. We just list the sum of the scalar quantities. Okay. 4, 5, 5. Electric potential, potential, potential. Electric potential. 6 is work. Work is also scalar quantity. 7, inertia, inertia moment. Inertia moment. Charge. 8, charge may be positive or negative. 9, তাহলে কি দেখলাম? লেন্থ, মাস, time, temperature, electric potential, work, inertia, moment, charge, and charge and current, flow of current, flow of current. These are the scalar quantities. Now we discuss about the vector quantities. If you describe a vector quantities, then you must have two things. One is its magnitude and another is directions. Without two things, you cannot represent any kind of the vector quantities. Let me clear. Okay? Suppose, suppose displacement. Displacement. Displacement is a vector quantity. Why displacement is vector quantity? Because suppose if any kind of the body and object go from A to B, that means the initial position of the object, the initial position of the object is A. This is the initial position. Initial position. If the body go from A to B, this is the final position. Final position. Position. Final position. Okay. As the body is initial position, the body of the of this object, the initial position is A. If the body go from A to B, then the direction represent A to B. Because of that, displacement is vector quantity. Okay, তাহলে the displacement is the vector quantity. As the displacement is the vector quantity, then you must represent two things. How much distance the body is covered? Suppose 10 meter. 10 meter is its magnitude. Magnitude. And suppose this is the north and this is the south. If the body go from north to south, then the direction is north to south. Because of that, displacement is a vector quantity. Now, we let example the another vector quantities is velocity. Velocity is a vector quantity. Why velocity is a vector quantity? Because if you represent the velocity